What's up? What's up, guys? It's another night. What up, Benny? How are things on the West Coast, man? I bet. I want you guys to see this. Bam. All right. Guys, invite some people. Let's get some people into this room. We're gonna kill it tonight. We're gonna have a brute force conversation on our management team for startups. Right? Alright, sound off. Where's everybody from, guys? Where's everybody from? Let's invite people. LA, Texas. Broker Cameron in the house. Thank you for inviting people. Guys, so if this is your first time on any of my scopes, I'll give a quick intro. My name is Jay Salvati. I am a technology founder. I am also a consultant to finance companies, financial technology companies, and startups in the tri-state area. That's New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So we've been going over a series that I call the Startup Warplan. It's going to total 8 scopes, and then from there, basically I want you guys to take action on these 8 scopes, because pretty much everything that you will need to know as a foundation to starting a company from zero, meaning from the very ground idea to expanding from there, is going to be discussed in all 8 of these. Alright, so we're on number 6 tonight, and so I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to give you guys a glance at my notes, so this way you guys can know where we're going to go with this. Alright, so alright guys, here's my notes for tonight. We're going to be talking about the Startup Warplan. We're on session 6 out of 8. Thank you, Benny. Now, if you guys want to connect with me on Instagram, Periscope, and Snapchat, I'm the same handle, Fit Businessman. All right, one word. So, we already gave the intro. If someone could just type in #catch, that will ensure that this scope is caught on my catch profile. And if anybody, thank you, Perla. If anybody needs to catch it after the 24-hour period that Periscope keeps it on their servers, then basically you can see it on there. Guys, the heart goal tonight, we want to hit at least 15K total hearts, okay? 15K total hearts. #global shift, I like it. So, now the program I just explained, if you guys could invite people one more time, we're going to get right into it, alright? We're going to get right into it. We're going to try and blast this out, guys. I know that the Ruzi fight is on tonight, so Ronda Rousey is going to be in the octagon tonight. I know that you guys would probably want to catch that. We might have at least 40 minutes before that happens. Yeah, Success Blueprint is in the house. Alright, so now, just a quick review of what we've already covered, guys. Session 1, we went over the business model canvas, which was basically a business model hack, a business plan hack, that you guys can basically knock out the ground, the foundation of your business plan in less than a day. Okay? Extremely important. Boss, what's up? Now, then we went into the competitive advantage and why it's important to find a competitive advantage, how to do so. Then we went into market size and why it's important to start from the get-go with your market size in mind and have an idea of how far you want to scale your business. Then we went into our service and product offering and why it's more important to start with a service than a product, because it takes a lot less money, time, and energy to get that type of business going. And then we discussed layering product offerings on top of that service. Yesterday, we covered the revenue model enhancement, and we discussed on how to reverse engineer our business based upon the revenue model that we wanted to cover, all right, or the revenue model that we were targeting. Basically, you could have no business idea at all and just have a certain revenue model in mind and then extrapolate a business from that. All right? So today we're going to talk about an important topic, guys. We're going to talk about the management team. Now, why is this important? Well, basically, if you are going to have any type of business, your odds of success in having one founder are not that good, okay? So what does that mean? Well, that means one of two things, that you need to either bring skills onto your team and have multiple people start your business, or you need to have what's called a distributed team, and that distributed team can be composed of private contractors that fill in the leaks where your expertise is not present, okay? So they don't necessarily have to be part of your team, meaning that you give them equity in your business, but you do need to have certain skills to actually get your business running. You cannot be a one-man team with, a handful of skills and expect to just get your business running. There has to be a multitude of skills, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. So what is the management team? It's your team of individuals, okay? At the highest level of organizational management, okay? Now, like I said, this could be a distributed team. This could be a team that you just bring on as contractors and you keep the equity, or you could bring on team members. You could bring on your CFO, your CIO, your CTO, all of those members you could bring on and give them equity, okay? Now, the plus side of giving someone equity is that if they're sharing in the success directly of your company, they're a lot more likely to work hard. However, the downside of giving out equity is that they now own equity shares in your business, and you have a lot more paperwork to do when it comes to making decisions that regard the finances and the growth of your business. All right? So why is it important? Because it's literally just as important as your business plan to your success. Now, that's both from an investor standpoint and from a theoretical standpoint. Investors want to see your team, okay? They want to know that they're not just going to give money to one person who might squander that money, right? So, obviously, if you have many skills on a team rather than just a few, and you have different people that can perform different operations, then that's going to greatly increase your chance of success. So believe it or not, besides the business plan that is well written and that has a well-defined business model, or rather a revenue model, the second thing that investors are looking for are the team. So those are your top two things, your business plan and your team. So a lot of people say, well, I have a friend, right? I have this friend. His name is James. Should I bring him on the team? I'll turn this around. This is a huge question, and it's a question that plagues pretty much every startup. Let's say you have a friend, right? Let's say you have a couple of friends, and let's say that they say, hey, we want to come onto your business. We're not doing anything right now. We either just lost our job or we're in between jobs transitioning. We think it might be a good idea to try and start what you're starting. Guys, let's get some hearts, please. Hearts, hearts, hearts. How do you govern that decision, right? What do you say to someone that wants to come onto your team? Well, there's only one question that you have to ask yourself. And I wrote it down so this way I can get it right. would I hire this person and pay them 100K plus to be a partner in my business idea? Meaning, if they were not your friend or your family, would you still pay them that kind of money to participate in your business idea because they have skills? Okay? You never want to bring someone on your startup team just because of their relationship to you on a personal basis. Okay? That is never a good idea, because what's going to happen is that your startup is going to be extremely intense when it comes to skill-based functions, that it's always going to create an argument if they don't have the skills. Hi, Yvette. So basically, that's the major question to ask yourself. If someone comes onto your team and or they want to come onto your team and they've been a childhood friend or they're a family member, you need to really put that relationship aside and ask yourself, if that person actually has skills that will contribute to your dream or goal, to that business idea, and not weigh any of the decision based upon your personal relationship to them, because it will always result in a falling out. And you don't want to have your business idea taken off a plate just because you have a falling out that was personal, all right? So you have to keep that very business related. So now let's go into what I call the 6 traits needed for a startup team. I'm going to flip this back around. We're going to be quick tonight, guys. I want to see that Ruzi fight myself, possibly. Guys, let's invite some people right now. Lots of hearts, lots of invites. And of course, the key with hearts is that if you give anywhere around 500 hearts, and you feel like you're going over 500, just log out of the room real quick and then come right back in. Awesome, thank you, guys. So the top 6 traits needed for a startup team. Okay, first is insane technical skills. Now, it's technical, and then under that, I made it like divided by business, all right? So basically, the key business skills that you want your team to have are these 4 right here: marketing, accounting, corporate finance, and operations. Okay? That is your core business right there: marketing, accounting, corporate finance, and operations. And you want your team to have varying degrees of expertise in these areas. Okay? However, you can't just have an MBA at every one of these positions, or every one of the areas that are going to be overseeing these types of skill sets. You want someone who actually has computer skills and technology skills that overlap them. So for instance, you don't want a marketer that doesn't know how to do online marketing or technology-based marketing. You don't want an accountant that isn't familiar with the latest technology that has to do with accounting. You don't want someone in corporate finance that just knows corporate finance and does not know computer technology when it comes to the various, I guess I would say, software platforms that are involved with corporate finance. And same thing with operations, okay? So you want each of these cores to be surrounded with an envelope of technology skills, all right? Literally technical skills, meaning technology. So they have to have the background in these core business areas, but be very skilled in technology that goes along with those areas, all right? Second thing, past startup experience. And this is a really big one, guys, because if you've done something once and you can build a business from a very, very small existence, meaning just the idea, chances are you can do it again, and you might even be able to do it in multiple industries, okay? There's never a substitute for experience, okay? This is a very powerful thing to keep in mind, and as a matter of fact, if you've never started a startup before and you've never started a business before, you might want to bring someone on your team that just has experience in that area, even if it's not in your current market or industry, okay? That would be up to you to decide, but it might be a great addition to your team if you can bring someone on the team who actually has experience with bringing a startup from 0 to 100 real quick, so to speak. The next thing is personality fit, okay? Oh, guys, really quick with the past startup experience, It's all about scaling on fumes. And what that means is, can they scale a business when you have very little or no money? Okay? Are they good with guerrilla marketing? Are they good with doing the things that don't take money to accomplish? Can they do those things good? All right, so that's something to keep in mind with the past startup experience. So next is the personality fit. And here's a question you might want to ask yourself. Could you imagine being locked in a bunker for 5 years with your team? Okay? Now, why do I say that? Because chances are that you will be spending at least 18 hours a day with your teammates. Okay? This is actually a more tightly knit team than, say, a sports team, because not only do you have to work longer hours than, say, someone in sports. I don't know many people who train 18 hours with their teammates in sports because you would just get burnt out. But the fact of the matter is that your startup team, they're all financially connected with each other, okay? Whereas a superstar player on a basketball team, if he doesn't like his team, he can take his skill set and easily go to another team. There's a great market for that. Once you're in a team that's business oriented and you have your startup going, it's not as simple as packing up and going to the next team, okay? That just doesn't happen. So you gotta plot out your 5-year plan and make sure you're very comfortable being with these people for a 5-year period, because that's probably how long it will take to get enough traction where you can see some type of either an exit or be making enough revenues to live comfortably off of what you've worked on. Okay? Next, precise shared vision, guys. Precise shared vision. Now, the vision has to contain milestones for product releases, milestones for revenues, milestones for expansion and growth within the office. You want to make sure that it contains exits, whether it's a possible sale of the company or a merger or an acquisition, your growth, and then also finances. You want to have all these things ironed out. You want to have all of that wrapped up into a vision, and it has to be shared with your team, and it has to be, very transparent. There can be no secrets on your team that come to anything when it amounts to starting something that is this in depth. Okay? So your team is basically going to become your brothers, your brotherhood for the next 2 to 5 years. Okay, Yvette, sounds good. So basically, the next thing, number 5, you want a team or teammates that have a chip on their shoulder. Okay? Basically, you are going to war. Your team must have something to prove. Okay? You cannot choose nonchalant teammates. If your teammates are too, I guess I would say, relaxed, and you notice that there are habits that are not going to be conducive to growing your business, that's probably not the person that you want on your team, okay? You want someone who's going to breathe and sleep that business because they feel that there is a bigger calling and there's a bigger idea that they're trying to bring to the world, okay? It's not just the business. It's the idea of helping people. It's the idea of contributing to society in that particular way. And it has to be feasible on so many different levels that, when they hit any type of barrier, what's going to get them through it is the fact that they have something to prove. They have to have that iron gut, so to speak, okay? And then last, guys, is an expansive network. Okay, expansive network. Now, these are just some numbers that I would consider, based on prior conversations with a lot of people, that anyone should aim for. If you want to have a good network, we're talking about 1,500 plus LinkedIn connections, okay? And you don't want it to just be digital, okay? So you want to have local business connections. And if you have 200 plus local business connections, that's also a great place to start. Now, these don't have to be business owners. These could be people that work in a business capacity. These could be your private banker. These could be people that are going to allow your business to grow And just because of the function that they are serving, getting to know them on a more personal level would probably be a great boost to the survival of your startup and the growth of your startup. Okay? Now, the question arises, how many people should I have on my team? Okay? So we went over why to have a team. Why is it important? Okay? Who should they be composed of? Why is it important? But now, what about the size of the team? So how many founders should I have? Is it going to look bad if I just have one founder? Well, yes and no. Here's the thing. You can start with one founder, but only about 90% of billion-dollar companies started with more than one founder. Or not only 10% of the companies started with one founder. So there's 90% that started with 2 to 6 founders. So you can see that if you're starting with one founder, it can be done. These were the guys, these are the billion-dollar companies that did it. FireEye, RetailMeNot, ServiceNow, and Tumblr all had one founder, and then they grew from there. Okay? So it can be done. You can just have a distributed team that is going to be taking on responsibilities that that your other management team would be doing, and you outsource those. The only time that becomes tricky is if there's, private financial information or intellectual property that you do not want outside people knowing, right? Who knows that, the people that you hire could be also working for a competitor in your same space, in your same market or industry, and you don't want that information being readily available, right? You don't want it being passed around. So basically, you have to weigh what's important for your company. Okay? Guys, let's get some hearts. Let's invite some people, please. So that's basically that right there. So we're not going to spend too much time covering this, although it's a very important thing, but it's very simple. The idea is that you have to have founders. The main takeaway is have founders that have skills in these areas: marketing, accounting, corporate finance, and operations, and they know the technology that can be interwoven into each of these. Okay, so this is your core. This is where you want your entire executive team specializing in these 4 things and knowing the technology that is woven into it. Okay? So let me just zoom out and bring this out. I'll give you guys a quick look at the notes if someone wants to take a screenshot. All right? And then we'll go into Q&A. So guys, how is the connection? Is the connection better today? I'm assuming that because it's Saturday night and a lot of people are out, there's not as many people using it. Yeah, that would tell us basically that it's most likely Periscope. It's on their server side, or has something to do with their bandwidth and not our individual bandwidth from wherever we're trying to catch the stream from. Awesome, Fabian. Glad you can get something out of it. Yeah, like I was saying, I've been working hard to put this together because I see a lot of people on other people's scopes. The people that are tuning in to watch the broadcast are asking very basic questions, extremely basic questions. And to be honest, a lot of the presenters, I see them getting a little annoyed. Offline, it would be helpful. Interesting. I may do that. I will have to find the proper way to get it across to you. Let me show you something real quick though, Fabian. If you haven't caught my last ones, you can go to this site, catch.me, all right, /fitbusinessman, and I have all the previous videos except for the first one that discussed the business model canvas. You can catch them all there. And I will redo the first one because the business model canvas was that important. Catch.me/fitbusinessman. So if you are tuning in, if this is your first time or you missed any of the presentations that I gave, they're all on that site. All right? Awesome. Yeah, so here's the thing with Periscope. Any of the replays that you watch on Periscope, so this replay will be available for 24 hours on Periscope. Okay? So if you do watch the replay that I just did, please just kill it with hearts, okay? You can give 500 hearts that count towards that presentation. If it's a live presentation, you can log out and then log back in and then give another 500 hearts, and then it will count 1,000 and so on. You can log out and log in as many times as you want if the person keeps casting and just keep hitting the hearts. However, if it's a replay, you can only, I think only the 500 hearts, if you give, you know, that's the max. I don't think you can watch it again and give another 500. I don't think that's possible. So please try to give at least that 500 hearts. You know, there's 6 people in here because obviously between UFC and I think Steve Mayer was on, you know, Agent Steve, and he was just on. So there's a lot of other stuff going on obviously on a Saturday night. However, I wanted to stick to the plan and just keep rolling out the sessions. Tomorrow night, 10:30 is going to be session 7, and we're just going to keep rolling through it. So this way, by the start of next week, literally people have a blueprint to go from no idea even to a business idea and getting some type of traction. So that is that. Do we have any questions? Because I've got a lot of work to do tonight. So I'm going to cut out, and if we have any questions, I'll answer them real quick. Otherwise, I'm going to cut out, and hopefully I gave enough information that will keep you busy for another 24 hours so you can execute Sunday and start plotting out your management team. Nothing? All right, guys. You guys have a great night. Enjoy the fight, and I'll see you tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Startup Warplan. We're going to be doing session 7 of 8 tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll see you then.